And away we go. It is the BCJ Podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Big thanks to everybody that came out and joined us at the Grail for the watch party last week. 2 home games coming up, but we'll be back October 18th at the Holy Grail. Congratulations to the folks that won the Cincy Light prize packs. I know those were a big hit on Saturday. So, as always, special thanks to the Holy Grail. Special thanks to Cincy Light for making it a big success and making it every road game the biggest watch party for the Bearcats every week. So, thank you. Let's get this show on the road. Actually, Dave, I do have something else. Saturday, okay? Cincy Light has a prize booth. They are right where the grid is, at the top of the grid as you go in towards the student center. There's Cincy Light prize booth, okay? You're going to want to go to the Cincy Light prize booth. You're going to scan the QR code and enter your email. You know what they're giving away Saturday, Dave?
$1 million.
Close. They're giving away one of these.
Oh, buddy.
If you don't know.
And you're totally going to need it because it's going to be 86 and sunny. So you're definitely.
You're going to need it. You're going to need it to keep the sun off of you. But there you go. I can't wait for it to get a little chilly because I'm dying to wear this thing around.
For those of you on the audio format only, it's a starter jacket by Cincy Light. Chad's not great at describing things.
It's a Cincy Light starter jacket in red with the black and the white, and it's got the kangaroo pouch. It's got the little pocket above that. It's amazing.
If you get it in time, it's looking like you might be able to use it next week.
Maybe it's supposed to cool down a little bit for the UCF game. Both of those games at noon, by the way. Nip at noon.
'Cause that's what we do.
Fantastic. Anywho. But yeah, so stop by the prize booth, scan the QR code, enter your email, get registered to win. They will be there from 10 to 11:30. So anytime between 10 and 11:30, it's right in front of the Mante Center, and they're awesome, like legitimately awesome. If you can't make it, you want to just buy one, you can buy one. Go to roundgeist.com, look for the shop, and it's in the store. So you can buy one there as well. But yeah. All right, Dave, let's get to it. It's man, these weeks are so much more fun after wins.
Dude.
It's just so much better. Like my quality of life is so much better after wins.
Yeah, it is. That's why winning is great, and I don't really care. Sometimes you don't really care how it happens. You just because it opens, and we'll get into it. And I'm going to make a couple declarations, but it makes everything about of what ends up being a very short and very fast season be worth it and be a lot of fun. So winning is good. So yeah, we'll do we need to, I mean, I don't know. You guys did an aftermath. We did a show. You did a show Monday. How much Kansas do we still need to go over? I mean, I'm kind of just ready to get into this game with Iowa State.
We'll go over a little bit. We don't need to get into the game itself per se, but I do think there's some things to talk about coming out of that before we really get fully into Iowa State. I think number one on the list is how concerned should we be about this defense?
Given the competition forthcoming and the way they like to play offense, I'm going to be pretty concerned until I'm shown that I don't need to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a league that offense is paramount. So even Iowa State, who's not prolific, like they're not a team that's going to score 45 points every game, but they're not bad on offense. They're not great, like they're not elite on offense, but they're good on offense.
Well, no, you're right. But breaking it down even deeper, like I think it runs counter to what most people would think of a Matt Campbell coach team is. They're a passing offense.
Yeah.
So you're going up against a passing offense this week. Not UCF is not. I mean, they're more of a running offense. Oklahoma State, I mean, I have no freaking idea what they are right now. Baylor
UCF offense?
Yeah, Baylor passing offense. Utah probably more of a run. BYU more of a run. Arizona passing with a very nice running back. TCU definitely pass. I mean, like nobody outside of UCF. I don't think anybody is like dyed in the wool. We want to run the ball that's how we play offense.
Yeah, it's the thing about Kansas that I think you have to be somewhat concerned about is that the bend but don't break didn't work. I mean, yeah, you can break it down however you want. McDoom made just a boneheaded mistake getting his eyes caught in the backfield on the first snap of the game. On a game where eye discipline is going to be the most important thing. You get caught peeking in the backfield and letting the fastest guy on the field run right by your ear hole for a 93-yard touchdown. I talked about this the other day. I didn't put a ton of blame on Taden Barnes on the other one. He was reacting to a poorly thrown ball. That's instinct. Like, I don't think that was a mistake.
I actually don't put a single shred of blame on him. I put the blame on Jaquan Sanks.
Okay.
Because I think he fired too quickly. When they showed a replay from their Skycam behind Jalen Daniels, at the snap, he is full speed up the field. And I think Daniels saw that and threw it earlier than he had originally planned to, and that's why the pass was off of where the receiver thought it was going to be and off of what Barnes was thinking. Because that side
Barnes
of the
was
field,
reacting.
Right. But I think if Sanks maybe that was the call, and that was just a great read by Daniels to he just totally vacated that spot. I'm going to throw the ball and hope my guy gets it. Because say Sanks doesn't fire, I mean, he literally threw the ball right where Sanks had been. Yeah. There was a tight end on that side of the field that ran a route out towards the sideline, but I don't even know if Sanks really flew up to cover him. It didn't feel like a route that you had to it was instantly at the snap is coming up. And so I just think maybe it was just a great read by Daniels and then a good adjustment to a pass. And if it had taken a second longer to develop, maybe the ball would have gone more into Barnes. I'm not from that angle. I think he just kind of got caught in a little bit of no man's land because the pass maybe came out sooner than anyone expected.
Yeah. So I don't put a ton of thought on that, but there were also a bunch of plays where they just got caught in the eye candy that Kansas.
It's not like you can subtract those two plays and we're outside of those two, the coverage was great. I mean, you had several on the sideline that were one route. He rolled out and threw it 25, 30 yards. You had the touchdown to the tight end. I mean, basically between
two guys went this way, the tight end, two guys and a wide receiver
between the seam and the numbers, and the guy just ran straight down the field.
Yeah.
The one to the tight end
where two guys go with the tight end and the wide receiver goes straight to the middle of the end zone.
Yeah.
You could have caught that touchdown pass.
So, yeah, and we'll get into it when we talk about Iowa State, but the way that Iowa State is playing offense right now, big concern about the safeties and how they're going to hold up in coverage.
Yeah, and look, I liked the talent that they have back there when they brought them in. But those guys aren't making plays consistently. I mean, really, the only name it feels like, the star position has been fine. Peak has been fine. I think Sanks has been fine. Peak probably a little bit more than fine, given his ability to be the only guy on the team that causes turnovers or creates turnover opportunities, it feels like. But the outside safeties, man, like Gala Collard has been effective a couple times. But, I mean, we're not hearing Christian Harrison at all, really. We're not hearing Barnes much. We're not hearing Xavier Williams. Like, is Xavier Williams still on the team? Have you heard his name called all year?
No. I mean, they've got a ways to go, and I don't know. You've watched it. It felt, and maybe I'm just expecting something that's never going to come, but the way that the front seven was used against Kansas seemed very vanilla.
Yeah,
and maybe that was, but like, I mean, do you remember Golday coming up as like that 2-point stance edge guy? I mean, he made so many plays and in that type of a role against Bowling Green. He made, plays against Nebraska in that type of an alignment. Like, I don't remember him kind of coming up as that fourth down lineman in a 2-point stance at all.
Not really. Not that really jumps out at me.
And once
maybe
the
they did a better job.
The game got going, they really didn't run the ball.
No.
So, I mean, maybe that was part of it. But they also, Jalen Daniels averaged, something like 20-something yards of completion. So it wasn't like they were throwing a lot of underneath passes where you had your linebackers in coverage.
Yeah, well, when you have two plays that total 160 yards,
but he still had
your numbers are going to be
like
way up there.
17 or 18 for 300 and something.
Yeah. It was a lot. I'm just saying your per play average is going to be absurdly high.
We've talked about it. I tweeted it out during the game, and thankfully UC ended up winning, and we talked about it Sunday morning. You're just asking your offense to be pretty damn perfect if you're just going to let guys come off the line of scrimmage and not bring pressure and not take a few extra chances and not try to force throws a little bit quicker. And you're just, these quarterbacks in these offenses, they're not going to miss. And that's what I said with Jeff Sunday morning. It was, we can't sit here and complain about how the opponent is never in 3rd and long, doesn't throw interceptions, and we don't get sacks when the defensive alignment and the calls don't dictate those things to happen.
Yeah. It's we dare you to go slowly down the field. Kansas, obviously, that didn't work. Kansas chunked them over and over again.
You're gonna, quarterbacks at this level very rarely are gonna just throw you the ball. It's got to be tips, overthrows, pressure. They're not just gonna be like, oh, here you go. I'm just gonna miss my guy by 3 feet and throw it to
the guy standing there. Yeah.
So if you're not gonna dictate the terms, then I can't come on here and be like, why aren't we getting turnovers? Why can't they get pressure on the quarterback? That's just shouting for the sake of shouting.
Yeah. And again, the problem now becomes it's on tape, man. It ain't hard to sit there. If we can look at the tape and decipher what teams are doing and why they're being successful on offense, certainly Iowa State's people can do that too. Like they're not. They're not showing anybody anything, Dave. They're waiting, right? They're being very vanilla. They're holding it all back.
Yeah.
No, so far, this is who they are on defense.
Yeah.
And Iowa State is going to do it to you a different way. But Rocco backed, and I hate that the phrase game manager has taken such a negative connotation that it's like spitting in a quarterback's face to call him a game manager. Because I think Rocco Becht does an amazing job managing the game. Like, in terms of, he gets his teams in good spots. He keeps the chains moving. When you give him a deep ball, he hits it. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't make any decisions, really, that put his offense in a bad place.
No, and I think he's progressed even past that type of a connotation. I think he's an elite game manager. I think he's great at it. He's a 66% passer that's 18th in the country in yards per attempt and 29th in QB rating. Like, I feel like that's more so even than that, where it's like game manager to me is like, you're our quarterback and we got all this other nice stuff around you, so you just don't screw it up. We're not going to put you in bad spots.
But I don't think that's real. I think that's the negative connotation it's taken.
But that's what I mean. That's why I don't consider him one, because I think they let him rip. I think they have totally allowed him to be they're a passing offense. So
mainly because they can't run.
They're not great at it, but they do it enough to make you. And the reason that it makes it hard for them, and I don't know if we're transitioning to them now or what, but
no, we'll get to it in a minute. But
yeah, I just think he's going to put some unique pressure on, especially the safeties. And if we're concerned, if we're concerned about anything in the secondary, obviously you give up 400 and something yards. Nobody had a good game, but I'm pretty concerned about the safeties matching up with their tight ends. Based on what we've seen so far.
We'll get to that. But just my point being, like, Jalen Daniels is not, because of his legs and he's not a game manager, I wouldn't say. He's a dual threat quarterback, like if you're classifying him.
Sure.
But that's not to say, that there's not their own inherent challenges, because this defense has against Nebraska, they did do a good job keeping Nebraska out of the end zone. They gave up a ton of yards, and they gave up a really high completion percentage, and they never really made things difficult for Nebraska's offense. That kind of continued against Bowling Green, a little bit lesser of an extent, but still, Bowling Green's quarterback completed 80% of his passes. And then Kansas puts up 597 yards of offense. So as you're looking at what we have on paper from the first three real games, I guess, I don't count Northwestern State. There's got to be, like, inside those walls, in that shiny new indoor practice facility / offices, the brain trust has to be going, look, what do we got to do? Because what we have put on tape the first 3 real games, I've got higher expectations for Tyson Byte and his defense than what we've seen so far.
I feel the same way.
And it can't just be like we've been without Dante for, like.
It's a tightrope act that just the law of averages. Like, you're not going to keep having games where you have 0 turnovers. And yes, there were the penalties and the touchdowns taken back, but that's football, man. Like, if we're just looking at offensive football, are we going to have 600 yards of offense another time this year and win by 3 points? Because we needed to complete a 4th and 10 great one-handed catch and then
with one hand
and then march it down the field and score a game-winning touchdown with 30 seconds left. Like
against a defense that's a lot better than Kansas.
Yeah. So like that's a very, very fragile way to live.
Yeah. Offensively, though, this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Right? Air it out, plenty of weapons all over the field, still be able to run the ball. We talked about on the app, like, I don't think Sorsby gets enough credit for how tough that dude is. He took a thumping on Saturday.
He got that for second drive, his knee. I was like, shit. I mean, that hit was right on his knee.
Right on his knee. Right on his kneecap. Yeah. I thought they were going low on him. They went for his knees like 5 or 6 times. Like, not going low, like hit him right in the knee a bunch of times. Whatever. But offensively through, especially through the Kansas game, yeah, it was a little rough against Nebraska, which, I mean, the crowd, the inexperience as a unit, like Nebraska does have a really good secondary. I think we all think they should have ran the ball more because Nebraska's run defense stinks. But since then, you got to be happy with what you've seen offensively in most phases.
Yeah, I think the shame of just that game is that you weren't able to pull out the win, because I think we're seeing this more and more. And I think we will continue to see it more and more, that in this portal era, week 1, I think, is going to become just a major, who the hell knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
As teams bring in talent and, are still adjusting to that, especially if you're not playing like a Northwestern State. If you're look at Florida State and Alabama. I mean, Florida State beat them down, like physically manhandled them. And everyone's like, what's wrong with Alabama? What's wrong with Alabama? And then a month later, Alabama beats Georgia and Florida State gets Florida State got no pressure against Virginia.
Yeah.
So it's like week 1, I think anymore is just, you just are just praying that you survive, get a W, not regardless of who you're playing. You should obviously win if you're playing, no matter what, if you're playing some FCS team or a very low level FBS team. But I just think we're getting to the point now where week 1 is going to be who the heck knows type of situation.
Yeah. It's been since, probably 2015 since I felt this confident about like getting down to like 4, 5, 6 in the wide receiver room.
I just want to, and this will be kind of the theme of what we talk about with Iowa State. Just keep showing it to me.
Yeah.
Because like Kansas's DBs were beat up, and now Iowa State's are as well. But I think Iowa State even their backups are probably a higher class than what Kansas had. So, show me again. I think it's there, but I just want to keep seeing it.
Yeah. But those guys are getting open. They're making catches. They're giving Sorsby options. And, it's hard not to appreciate what it does to a defense. Like, they're blanketing Joe Royer. They're bracketing him, right? Okay, great. You want to bracket him? Fine. But now you've got Cyrus in the slot next to him, who's their best receiver. You've got a guy outside of Cyrus that can go make a play down the field. You got Jeff Caldwell on the other side. You've got good backs. When Royer gets dinged up, you can bring Gavin Grover in, who made 2 big catches the other day. Like, that's the key. More than anything, that's the key to running good offense, Dave.
Right.
Is because we saw it last year. It was Royer. It was Xavier Williams. They put it on tape, and as soon as they put it on tape, teams said, we shut those 2 guys down. We shut the Cincinnati offense down, and that's what happened. They took those 2 guys away, and Cincinnati didn't have any other answers. And it's finally at least looking like they've got a bunch of other answers. Like,
yeah,
Caleb Goody, Noah Jennings, Isaiah Johnson, those three guys alone just make this a different offense so far.
Well, it makes it much less predictable. Because, like, I'm sure last year, if there were any, when you went to the other guys, on the field, it was a very clear sign to the defense that, like, they're either going to run the ball or they're only really going to target one person. And so now, you put, say Caldwell and Cyrus Allen are not on the field for a possession or even a play. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to run the ball.
Right.
So, just keep building off of it. I think obviously vibes probably pretty good right now. Keep building off of it. Keep drilling those plays that you think are going to work. Like, get so good at that stuff. And just the offense in general. And again, I don't know how much of this has to do with, I'm not sure Kansas's secondary is worth a damn. But, like, the offense in general just flowed and made so much sense that it was reassuring in that sense of, like, I noticed pretty early on that, like, passing around the numbers at any distance was pretty open, and they just kept going to it. And where before I feel like it's like we were, either it was last year and I already said my piece about Nebraska, so this was more of like a last year thing where it was like every game it was like we were trying to be good at everything and not let one element shine and use that to then accentuate the other part of the offense once the defense finally had to do some adjusting. And I feel like, especially in the Kansas game, that's what happened.
Yeah. It's good to see that there's just variety, that there's more, and maybe some of it is Nebraska played more man and Nebraska was able to man up on those guys. Kansas played almost exclusively zone, it looked like, and Sorsby did a great job finding every space in the zone. Like, his anticipation was on point. He was leading receivers. He was throwing them open, like, into the empty spots of the zone. It goes back to what we've talked about with him since the start of last year. He's a rhythm guy. He got into rhythm, and it looked great. I know this sounds weird, Dave, because they won Offensive Line of the Week and they gained 600 yards.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned with the O-line and how they played against Kansas.
Towards the end, well, especially the last drive. I mean, you knew at least.
Yeah, but I thought it was most of the game. They struggled with those stunts in the games and the stuff that Kansas was running up front. Sorsby did a great job and took some shots.
Yeah,
as he was letting the ball go.
That's what he's there to do. I mean, I know. I'm not overly concerned. I wasn't too concerned.
They still only allowed one sack. They did a good enough job, but there were some dudes that didn't have their best day.
No, the pressures weren't like immediate. Chuck it at the, some running back's feet because I got no time to even look at anybody. I mean, they can always be better, but I think they ran blocked well.
The run blocking was excellent. It's the pass blocking. You know what concerns me a little bit that they have on tape that I think teams aren't gonna run the number of stunts that Kansas ran, but I do think they're having some trouble picking up the delays.
Well, Iowa State can't because they only have 3 down linemen.
Kansas only ran 3 down linemen, and they did the same. Like they ran a ton of stunts and games with just 3 guys.
No, they had 4 down.
There was even when they only had 3 down, they were still doing it. Is my point.
If you're running a stunt with 3 down, that's 3 guys to block 2. It shouldn't matter if there's a stunt.
Then you get the point why I was a little concerned that they were still
aggravating
the quarterback.
I would want to go back, and I'm not going to because I don't have infinite amount of time to do that. But I mean,
but they were delaying linebackers. They were running some late game where
okay, do that because then I should be able to find a receiver
over the middle. Yeah,
if you're gonna do a delay, you know. But yeah, I mean, everything can always be better. Like, I just, you know, the pressures at the end were more just because I felt like, you know, they're going to pass the ball at least at the beginning of the drive.
They were running every game that they had.
Right.
Like they emptied the playbook.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a good job. I think, pass blocking can always be a little iffy. You know, we saw.
That's what I was talking about, Logan. They were doing stunts and then delaying the linebacker. Yeah. So they run a game, and you allow
the linebacker can follow the guy looping because the lineman just picks up the first guy and then he runs right off of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what was giving UC some issues. I don't think teams are going to run as much game as Kansas did. They do it on offense and defense, right? They try to confuse your eyes. They try to trick you into seeing something that they do differently as the play goes live. Like their entire philosophy is, we're probably not going to be the most talented team, but we're going to make it difficult. You're going to have to be super disciplined.
Yeah.
And that gave UC some issues. I thought Gerhardt did a good job. I thought Tengestal did a good job. They picked on Tayo a little bit. They definitely picked on the tackles, who, again, they didn't allow the sacks, so good on them. But they struggled with it. Like they weren't sharp. There was pressure coming from the edges. Sorsby just did a great, he is really good at feeling the pocket. He has a very good feel for where it's coming from, where to step, where to buy time, where to slide. So yeah, it's just one of those things that, yes, the offensive line had a good day, but there were some things that were okay, they still need to clean some of this stuff up if they want to get to that next level. And I think Cardwell would agree with me. I think those guys would agree with me that it was good. It wasn't great, I guess is probably the layman way to put it.
No, I think that's fair.
The run blocking was outstanding. The pass blocking had its moments where it was very good. It had its moments where it was a little rocky, and their quarterback bailed them out. Now, Iowa State is not a team that wants to pressure. They are not a sack team.
No.
They are a wait for you to make a mistake and take advantage of it team. Sorsby's going to have to be. He's been really good so far this season. Really, really good so far this season. He does have to do a little bit better job when he's throwing it away to get it all the way out of bounds.
Yeah.
A couple of those he's just barely throwing away. But yeah, that's just coming out of the game. That's one of the things that, the offensive line deserves a ton of credit. But if we're going to be completely, open and honest about our evaluations, I thought the run blocking was great. I thought the pass blocking at times was really good. At times, Kansas affected them with the way that they play. But, and then special teams, keep rocking. Keep on rocking in the free world, Dave, because the special teams has been, given what we saw last year, Rustic is perfect. Max Fletcher's had one punt that probably wasn't great against Bowling Green. Everything else has been really, 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 really good. So, all right, let's timestamp that, which is brought to you by our longtime friends now. They have been a longtime sponsor now. Our longtime friends at Turtles Brew, 6% ABV, zero carbs, zero sugar, gluten-free. It's a bourbon-infused sweet tea. They have lemonade tea, strawberry mint, cherry lime, raspberry peach, orange vanilla. There's over 50 locations in Greater Cincinnati. More than 100 locations around Ohio. If you want to find where you can get Turtles Brew, great tailgate beverage, just go to turtlesbrew.com and you can find the location nearest you and bring some to the tailgate on Saturday because people will enjoy it. They'll say, "Ooh, what is this?" And you'll say it's bourbon sweet tea. And they'll take a drink and they'll go, "That's delightful. Delightful." That has been the response every time I've given it to somebody is how much they enjoy it. Let's get into our Iowa preview. This segment is
Iowa
State preview. Sorry. Our Iowa State preview brought to you by Home Field Apparel, homefieldapparel.com. Look up Cincinnati. They have the best collection of vintage marks for Cincinnati and every team. Like if you're like Dave and you've got Cincinnati and you've got Tennessee, your wife's a big Michigan State fan, you got everything you can find. So you go to homefieldapparel.com. Aaron's got Cincinnati pulled up. There's the new tri-stripe crew neck that you see on the screen there, the Cincinnati Platinum football box, the regular football box, jackets, hoodies, T-shirts, crew necks. I'm rocking the Great Midwest 1992 championship shirt. I've got the joggers. Those are outstanding. Ready for this weather to cool off a little bit, get back to jogger season. You've seen me wear the old school C-Paul, the retro C-Paul right there. So go to homefieldapparel.com and pick up your Cincinnati gear today. And hopefully you're ready for Stripe the Stands on Saturday. Let's take a look at Iowa State here, Dave. Rocco backed. He's not going to put up the numbers that you see at Baylor. He's not going to put up the numbers you see Hoover at TCU. But he's going to win. And if you look at his numbers, they might not be 350, but boy, he's regularly in that 250, 275, 300 range, usually with like 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Like the guy is a winning quarterback.
Yeah. And we're going to start offense for them. I'm going to start with the part that concerns me the most, and that is they are a very heavy tight end usage team.
Yeah.
They have 3
safeties
tight ends.
Are going to have to be a lot better, Dave.
Right. They have 3 tight ends. Brett Eskeldin, Gabe Burkle, and Ben Bramer that the safeties are going to have to play better. And this is the part that concerns me is that, like we've talked about, a lack of pressure and how do you get more pressure? Well, everybody knows you throw to the tight end. It's a lot of not like quick passes, but they're not long developing routes. The tight ends aren't running 25, 30 yards downfield before you throw the ball. So that's a lot of 5, 7, 9, 14 yard, type of plays where you want to bring pressure. It's not going to matter. You're going to have they're going to have time to get those throws out there. And if the safeties aren't covering well, we're going to keep getting nickel and dimed down the field of 5 yards here, 8 yards here, 11 yards here. And then last week against Arizona, they finally got, and I think there might have been some injury going on, but they finally got ECU transfer Chase Soul going. He had 4 for 146. So he's there now. You pull up, you start inching up on the way we're running, the way we're using the tight ends, and we're going to bust you over the top with him.
They will throw it over the top. It reminds me kind of remember how Temple used to be?
Yeah.
For a couple year period. It was a lot of the same stuff, like tight end, slot receiver, lull you to sleep, and then we're going over the top on you 3 or 4 times. And Iowa State's been super, super efficient when they have gone over the top.
Yeah. I mean, so, I'm not like Carson Hansen and Abu Sama are solid running backs. Neither one of them is averaging more than 4.3 yards a carry. I'm not concerned about the running game. I wasn't concerned about the running game against Kansas. I'm concerned that this just turns into we're just going to let Rocco throw it. Because we got these tight ends, and I don't think, they're probably sitting there that I don't think they got the guys in the back end to match up with all 3 of these guys. and then we'll take our shots with Chase Soul, and then Xavier Townsend is kind of he's a UCF transfer, kind of their other main receiver. But I think Soul, I imagine the targets will go more heavily to Sewell or Sewell, however you pronounce it, moving forward. I think last week was maybe his first game of the year. And, so it's going to be a challenge because you just can't keep, you're now facing a team that will be more than happy to watch you sit in those coverages and not bring pressure and just hit these tight ends over the middle, down the seam, little drag route, little out route here, just run up and turn around and stop. I mean, Kansas did that once. I think it was to a receiver in the slot. I mean, the dude just ran 7 yards off the ball, turned around, caught it, and then ran for 7 more.
Yeah.
Before someone finally tackled him. So that offensively, that is my biggest concern because you already have a quarterback he's not going to take chances. He's not going to rip balls into spots that will run the risk of being intercepted. He's got 2. He was intercepted 1 time last week. He's got 2 on the year, but he's just not going to do that, and he doesn't really have to when you have these tight end options that are all going to be fairly close to the line of scrimmage. Like, this isn't some long developing passing offense where he's sitting back there waiting for a guy to get open and throws one over the middle where the opposite safety can come and undercut it. Like, these are going to be fairly quick, fairly timing route throws that if the safeties don't maybe play up a little bit more, if we're not bringing some more interior pressure, he's just going to sit back there and pick them apart.
Yeah.
Similar, different way of doing it, but it's going to be similar outcome to last week.
They don't run when they go over the top. It's usually go. Like they're not running deep crossers. They're not running a bunch of like slow developing post routes.
They hit one last week on a tight end pass.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's not something that is the staple of their playbook where they're asking Rocco, like you said, to sit back there, pat the ball 3 times, and wait for a 5-second developing route. They're going to get it to their guys that they're comfortable with, especially their tight ends, and they're going to say, "Here's 7, go get us 3, after you catch it, and we'll take the first down and we'll move it. We'll just keep going. They're not going to be if you let them beat you 40-20 in time of possession, they will."
Yeah, I think they've, like I kind of said earlier, he's gone to an attack style quarterback, but the route concepts and stuff, because they use so many tight ends, you just don't have the 20-yard inbreaker, some of the same routes that you saw last week on the perimeter. But I'm as concerned, if not more concerned, because that's been the soft spot of this defense, is where their tight ends are probably watching tape going, we are going to feast on this.
Yeah. Is this Sorsby's last year? No, Sorsby's a redshirt junior. And guess what, Crypt Keeper? Everybody knows that Cal's freshman quarterback is outstanding. Everybody. That one's not flying under the radar.
Not a secret. That is appointment television if you're into the late nighters. Dude can freaking sling it.
Don't see too many explosive plays on either side this week. I don't know with them. They're down their 2 starting corners. I don't know. And with Cincinnati, look, like Dave's talking about, if they're doing the tight end stuff and the safeties start coming up and the safeties start worrying about the tight ends, they will go over top of you. They will. They'll just run a straight go, a quick double move, whatever the case may be, and they're going to put you in one-on-one with their guy that they think can beat you. And to go to the game manager point about Rocco Becht, he's going to pick the right time to throw it.
Well, I mean, I'll just tell you right here. Last week, these are just longs. They had a 52-yard completion, 45, 22, and 27.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 4 pretty big chunk plays right there, and that's just the longs. I mean, Sol had 4 for 146, so his other 3 catches weren't 10-yarders.
Right.
So, all the other guys that was the very, very high percentage of their receptions were those ones I just noted. But,
they'll hit you for big plays. They'll lull you to sleep, and then they've got a quarterback that can make the play. So, yeah, I mean, I want to think, look, both of these teams play the same defense. In theory, you're right. There shouldn't be too many explosive plays because both are running a defense that is supposed to limit that. But we'll see, because we're coming off a game where Cincinnati gave up 7, 8 chunk plays.
more than
A
that.
couple, 20 plus? There was a lot of them. There's a lot. To get to 593, you're hitting a bunch of 20 pluses. So, how's their O-line?
Every player for Kansas that caught a pass
had one over 20 yards.
No, not that much.
Okay.
At least 12 yards.
There's a bunch with 20 plus, though.
Well, yeah.
One guy with 74 and 93.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they averaged 16 yards a reception. So even if you take out the two ridiculous ones, I mean, the other guys, 5 for 84, 3 for 53, 2 for 31, 1 for 31.
They're going to have to reel that back in for the old Bearcats on Saturday, because that was a problem a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's their O-line? Do they give up sacks?
I don't think it's not great, but it's not dreadful. I mean, do they give up sacks is kind of a loaded question, because are we just going to rush 3?
Yeah.
Because how bad do you got to be as an offensive line to give up a bunch of sacks if a team's only rushing 3 guys?
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, nothing jumped out as oh yeah, we should. It's certainly not a situation where I'm oh yeah, these guys are bad. We can rush 3 and still dominate. They're gonna have. I mean, if you want to speed up the clock, they're gonna have to bring Dingle. Dingle, Golday. They're gonna have to play more 4-man down. However you want to do it, with whatever personnel you want to do it with. You're just not gonna. And that is my concern with them on offense, is because they use the tight end so much, the ball comes out faster.
Yeah.
Whether you rush 3, 4, or 5, it's still coming out faster. So you want to rush more, you're not even going to get there in time, theoretically. And now you have less people out in these zones that already going to be going to tight ends over the middle, down the seam, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, but the question there is, how much of your linebackers in coverage?
Well, exactly. Because if you bring your linebackers up, let's just say they do what Dave and Chad want. We're going to pressure some more. So that means the linebackers are probably more involved in the pressure. So if the linebackers are more involved in the pressure, knowing that they use the tight ends, then that means the safeties kind of have to creep up, right? Because you're just leaving
over the top.
You're just leaving all of this space. You can't bring Golday up to the line and not adjust on the back end, because then you have even more space for the tight end to work. Right. So then you bring those guys up, and now here we go with Sowell over the top, because now your safeties are at 9 yards instead of 12 yards.
And now he's got a step, and you're looking, there's a 43-yarder. They're not easy to defend, especially for this particular style of defense.
Yeah.
And They haven't had a good game defensively yet. I guess you can say Nebraska was fine because they kept them out of the end zone. But I just, we've talked about it since then, Dave. We'll continue to talk about it as this doesn't take a different tact as we go through the rest of this season. But you're just not going to keep everybody out from the red zone out of scoring.
No.
Not at this level, not in this league, not against the quarterbacks they're going to face the rest of the way.
And again, I feel like I'm just harping. Like, usually when you get to the red zone, obviously it's a condensed space. You're not worried about getting the ball thrown over your head. Iowa State's not great at running the ball. Okay, now they just bring in all their tight ends.
Yeah.
And work you over in the red zone with their tight ends. Or they're in 12 or even 13 personnel, and you've got linebackers and safeties out there because they're pass threats, and now we run the ball. And yeah, we're not great at running the ball, but if we're getting 3.5, 4 yards of carry in the red zone, we're going to score eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you got on their offense? Anything?
That's kind of it.
Let's move to the defense for Iowa State. The big story is both of their starting corners out. Not a lot of experience behind them. We expect, because Iowa State has just been a defensive back machine, that the guys that they're bringing in are going to be talented, but they are going to be heavily inexperienced.
Yeah. So this is kind of like it's not a double-edged sword. It's not a catch-22, but my hope is that we don't take what we did last week in the passing game and combine that with this news of top corners being out and just start chucking it. Because they're not great against the run. The last 3 games they've played, Arizona, Arkansas State, and Iowa, all had positive EPA per rush. Arizona and Arkansas State were both above the 70th percentile. So, you obviously have to test those guys. Like, we have a good quarterback, we think. We have an improved unit of receivers, pass catchers. We obviously are not – we have to throw it. You can't not throw it. But, I still want to see – I want to see them stop the run. I want to see them have to commit to stopping the run, and then I feel like that's when you feast on these new players. I mean, maybe you just come out and throw at them right away just to see what they can do, period.
Yeah.
But, if Arkansas State and Arizona are running the ball successfully against them, I sure as shit hope we can. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn that the UC running game is considerably better than both of those teams, even as much as I like Arizona's running back. They have a 3 down front too. They have the same concerns that I always have against the run. It's a numbers game. Now, they got a really damn good defensive tackle, just like UC does. Probably, if we're just talking projections in NFL, that dude's a potential first-round pick. Dominique Orange. He was banged up last week. Sounds like he's going to go. So to me, that screams, let's make this dude run. Let's get this stuff going to the outside. Let's run truly run the wide zone. Don't run between Tayo and Tengasal and just let him take one step to his left or right and eat up 2 blocks. Make him run.
Yeah.
I don't know how banged up he is. I was watching the game when he got hurt. He didn't look great. I don't think he came back in the game. Maybe I'm wrong about that part, but make the guy run. Don't run right at him. So I'd like to see them run the ball, even with the situation that we know is in their secondary, because I still think they're strong. They were always, I think, stronger at safety anyway. Now you just have more inexperience at corner. I mean, one of the guys that got hurt was the safety that they moved a corner to get some other safeties on the field, I think. So, but the thing I want to see more than anything is Coach Satterfield, right out of the gate, had a very aggressive mindset in that game.
Yes.
Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Put pressure on the defense. Like, you and I and whoever's listened to this show long enough knows that I joke about how I would never have kickers on the team because I would never punt. Build your game plan and your call sheet as if you're always going to go for it on fourth down. And then when it's 4th and 10 at your own 32, it's not in your favor to go for it. But with this offense, with this running game, with these receivers, if it's 4th and 3 at your own 42-yard line, go for it. Be aggressive. He did it last week, and that's probably why they won the game.
Yeah, the other thing is, I asked Brendan about it yesterday. That sends a message to your players. It sets a tone that we want you to let them hang, because we're going to back you up, and if there's a chance, we're going to be aggressive. If there's an opportunity to be aggressive, we're going to do it.
It shows confidence in your team. I'm calling this play. I'm not even thinking twice about it. I'm calling this because I have full confidence that you guys are going to pick this up.
Yeah.
I just want to keep that same mindset going.
Yeah.
From an offensive standpoint. So, we're obviously going to throw the ball. You've got to throw the ball. You got all these new receivers. You have some guys down. It would make no sense not to. But I have to see Sorsby, and he doesn't need to do the same thing he did last week. But we can't go from three whatever to 95 yards and just be like, oh, it's the Iowa State pass defense. It's
they played Iowa State twice, Dave. They have not eclipsed 100 yards passing in either of the two attempts against the Cyclones.
Well, 2 years ago, that was...
I know, but they still have played them twice and have not for 100 yards in either game.
Yeah, so I want to see, it doesn't need to be 355, but can we go, 16 for 27 for 240?
Yeah, with a couple big plays.
Maybe a couple touchdowns, no interceptions. I think that's winning. I think that's gives you a chance to have winning football.
I mean, they ran for 300 yards last year against Iowa State?
Did they?
Maybe more.
That game has been that game is one that is scrubbed from the memory. As the first completion that was over 10 yards was on the last drive of the game?
I believe so, yeah.
So yeah, there's not a lot of that one that I remember.
Box score.
But, get I would say it sounds like, we can say Joe Royer good to go. Seems like
he was at practice Tuesday, full go.
Okay. You have and we'll kind of, this is not necessarily in the game, but I mean, I have some other thoughts. You have
287 last year, Dave.
Yeah.
287. Sorsby,
you have a full complement. Everybody on offense is ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll.
Sorsby 144, Kiner 124, Pryor 31. There you go.
No excuse for some monumental backslide in the passing game this week.
Again, especially not with their two starting corners out.
No.
you've got enough dudes to be aggressive and challenge those guys. Do I think it'd be an insult if the defensive coordinator showed the Ole Miss 3-3-5 highlights to the defense in film study? I have no clue what version of the 3-3-5 Ole Miss runs. Crypt Keeper, I am guessing it's not a 3-high safety 3-3-5.
Can we have Ole Miss's defensive line?
Can we have Ole Miss's corners and safeties? Like, you know, that's the thing. Like the 4-3, the 3-4, it's pretty standard on like what those defenses look like. The 3-3-5, it's very different. Like you know, like Freeman ran press man, aggressive, because he had the dudes to do that.
Right.
Now they're running a zone heavy, 3-high safety, keep everything in front. Like it's just a different. I think when people see it, they're like, it's every 3-3-5 is the same. You run the 3-3-5 defense, you run the same 3-3-5 defense as everybody else. The 3-3-5 is, from what I've seen, more different than any other alignment. Would you agree with that? There's more variations than there is like in a 3-4 or a 4-3 or a 4-2-5. Now, obviously, teams do a lot of different things with them, but like, even just align, like what players are on the field. In those other alignments, I know exactly what players are on the field.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the 3-3-5 that we ran in that era, there was a slot corner.
Right. Now there's not a slot corner. There's a middle safety. So it's just different, man. It's a defense that is still fairly new as a result of reacting to the spread. I mean, it used to be called nickel, right? Like that was what it used to, and a lot of times that was 4-2-5. When you'd get that extra defensive back out there, they'd leave the lineman and they'd take off a linebacker.
Yeah, you took a linebacker off.
So it's just a different deal, man. But sure, show them the tape. I don't think it relates. I don't think it has any connotation to the defense that Cincinnati runs. But yeah, show them the tape.
I'm not sure. Yeah, what their alignment, what their personnel is, but you know, another thing that I think is important in this game is special teams. In that, I mean, this is just a crazy stat that I looked at all of Iowa State's average starting field position in their their 5 games. They're averaging starting drives at their own 38-yard line. Last week, it was their own 41. I mean, if you just box scored the Arizona game, you're like, or you're just like looking at the score, you're like, man, they just beat the crap out of them. It was statistically first downs, total yardage, like success rate, EPA per play. Like it was not a 20-something point blowout, easy win. If you look at that stuff, they are just, I mean, to have 10 or 12, I forget if it was 10 or 12 drives, and the average is you're starting at your own 41.
It's a whole lot different than your own 26.
Yeah, because they only gained 60% of their available yards, but when you're 60% of your available yards when you're starting at your own 40 is still field goal range.
So what you're saying is, Dave, a huge factor here is 3 and outs.
3 and outs, and not having 3 and outs, and Max Fletcher kicking 50-yard punts.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty confident Max is going to kick 50-yard punts, 47, 48, 50-yard punts. That's what he does. But, I mean.
Yeah, I'll be interested, like, when we look back on it after the game, Sunday morning, like, how many drives did they start at their, plus 35-yard line?
Yeah.
Plus 30, plus 35-yard line versus their own, inside that number. And then
they will win field position against you all day. They are perfectly content playing field position. Like I've said this about Iowa State. I said it in the preseason when talking about them. Like, they do not beat themselves. They will trade field position with you until they get land a punch. They are not in a hurry. right? They are not looking to just race up and down the field. If you want to keep punting to them at their own 35, they will take it and they will wait. And then when they strike, they're going to try to make you go 3 and out again and get it back at their 35 again. Like, well, that's who they are.
Yeah, because it works like, okay, they start at the 35. Say they just only get 1 or 2 first downs, and they punt it down to your 20, and then you go 3 and out, and now you punt it to them, and now they've got it like their own 45 or 50.
Right.
And you're continuing to lose those yardage battles there, and that's what they've done to every team. I mean, if we want to go down the list, own 39, own 45, own 38, own 26, own 41. I mean, they're hardly having to go 3/4 of the field on almost every drive this year.
50, 60 yards, and they're in but 30, 40 yards, they're in the red zone.
Yeah.
Like they get 2 first downs and they're in your red zone. So don't get 3 and outs and be great on special teams. Like if you're going to stand in the center of the ring and trade blows with them I don't expect this game to be upper 30s. Maybe one team gets to 30.
Talk for a second. I got to do something real quick.
Maybe one team gets to 30, and wins 31-27, whatever. But I don't expect this to be a track meet. I don't expect it to be touchdown, 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 touchdown. Like, you go a quarter and a half and nobody punts. Like, I just don't see it that way. So yeah, you're going to have to stand in the middle of the ring and trade punches with them. And you're going to have to push them back to their, Max Fletcher punched 3 times and all 3 times are inside the 20-yard line. And you make them start from their 15 because I think they struggle with that. Again, they don't run it that well. I hope they don't complete 75% of their passes like we've been seeing. But if you can keep him to 60% of his completions, then you can get them behind the sticks a little bit and you can get off the field. And that's going to be paramount in this game. That's the other thing is you're going to need a couple 3 and outs against them so that you can control that field position. If you pin them back at their 21, get a 3 and out, make them punt, and you start doing what they want to do. You take away, because I think if you're looking at them, that's kind of their superpower, right? They're starting every drive at the 35, 40-yard line. That's a superpower. When you don't have to go 80 yards and you only got to go, 40 yards to get in field goal range, although they're down to their 3rd string kicker, which will be interesting.
Well, and that was my other special teams point is they're down to their 3rd string kicker. So how many field goals do you think they're going to try?
Probably not a lot. Like, I don't think they'll be going for long ones.
I would expect if they get the ball to our 30, they're going for on 4th downs.
Probably.
So you have a more aggressive mindset, kind of like I'm talking about for us. Like, would you rather have your 3rd string kicker come out for a 40-yard field goal or let Rocco Beck throw it on 4th and 5 from our 23-yard line?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer to me.
I mean, he's made his only field goal attempt of the year at 34.
I thought he was 0 for 0 with 4 PATs.
I thought he made 1.
Oh, I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, I would not be doing that. I'd be letting my multi-year starting quarterback and all my tight ends. Like, I'm not kicking there. So that'll be something to watch.
Yeah.
And when you get into those, when they get the ball inside the UC 40, that's 4 down territory to me with a 3rd string kicker.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
I mean, the metrics have this a pretty close. I mean, obviously, I don't see why UC is a small home favorite, but the metrics, K Ford has them 28th, UC 35th, SP Plus has Iowa State 26, UC 39, BCF Toys, which is an efficiency metric, 29-37. Like, it's a close matchup in that way of looking at it. They've only played one true road game, which was at Arkansas State, which they won 24-16. And it was a close game until the very end. They scored a touchdown to go up 8. But looking at the game on paper, I don't know. I can't figure out why it was close. Like,
he made a 34-yard field goal with 34 seconds left.
Okay.
Against Arizona to make it 39-14.
So a field goal with absolutely no pressure other than what he's putting on himself to make it.
And ultimately 34 yards, so pretty much a chip shot.
Yeah. But like Carson Hansen rushed for over 100 yards. Rocco Beck didn't have a turnover, threw for 250 something. Like, it didn't really make sense to me why this game was close. But that's their only road game so far.
Yeah.
So, you know, and this kind of dovetails into something we can talk about, and I don't think I'm being hyperbolic saying this is the biggest game of the Scott Satterfield era for two reasons. One, just the game itself. Whether I think the line is right or not, that doesn't mean shit. You are home favorites. You just did something that we've asked you to do for 2.5 years. Go on the road in the Big 12 against a team with a pulse and win a close game. Mm-hmm. You are not injured. I mean, Dante might be whatever he is. He's not out. Royer is not out. Like, what major contributor is missing this game? You're at home. It's sold out. Like, it's the biggest game that we've had in 2.5 years. Go win the game. You've already proclaimed that this is, I mean, it's hilarious. The guy puts his hat on forward, and now he's saying off the chain in his Tuesday press conference. You've already said that the student section is going to be off the chain. You've bragged about having the most recruits that you've ever had, and have tipped to Keegan for putting that list together. That was probably took 2 hours. I mean,
he almost quit. He tried to quit as we were putting that list
together.
It's
a very long list. Go win the game. No one that listens to this podcast will get the words that I have said over the last couple of years misconstrued. I've been critical. I try to say it nicely, but I've been critical. I'm a fence sitter. Go win the game and get everybody like me totally in. Go win the game and get everybody that you lost, whether it was because of Miami or blowing the pick game, get them back on the fence. They don't have a better opportunity to make a statement than this Saturday. Everything is in line for them to win.
And then after Iowa State,
that was my second part. Is
UCF at home.
If you win this game, you then have a UCF team at home that I don't think is very good. You then play the corpse of Oklahoma State on the road. And then you get a Baylor team at home that I really like their offense, but I'm not sure how good they are, because they made Auburn's offense look exceptional. And Oklahoma State scored 27 on them last week. So, like, go win this game, and then you're probably staring at Baylor 4-0, and either at a tie or in first place by yourself in the league.
And then after Baylor is Utah at home?
Utah on the road. But I mean, I don't want to take this out too far. I mean, but like, you could not have drawn this up any better for them.
Yeah. The opportunity's there. Dave, what's your prediction?
28-24 Iowa State. Because it just kind of goes back to the show me. All these things are right there for you to do it. Okay, go do it.
I mean, I still think the biggest thing is with this game, Iowa State does not beat themselves. They just don't. They just don't. And you have to go beat them.
Right.
And they have not.
As much as we bitched about the refs last week, you can't have 9 penalties on Saturday.
Right.
You can't turn the ball over.
Which they didn't.
No, Saturday. They didn't. You can't get beat over the top on 2 very easy touchdowns. Like,
yeah,
you want to beat this team, you've got to play a clean game. They're not going to give you extra possessions. They're not going to shoot themselves in the foot.
No, that's who they are. That is their existence, and why Matt Campbell has been so successful is because his teams do not beat themselves. They just do not shoot themselves in the foot. They do not give you free opportunities. And if you're going to beat them, you got to go beat them. I think this team can do it, but I'm, for the most part, leaning with you until we see it.
Oh, you can't do that. You picked them to win this game in the preseason.
I did. And then I said 2 weeks later, I'm changing my mind a little bit. I don't know. You know how I am. By the time we get to Friday afternoon, I might have myself talked into it. But we have just seen too many reasons to think that they're going to come up short against a team like this.
Right.
Against a team that is buttoned up, that doesn't have silly penalties, that doesn't turn the ball over, that over and over and over in Matt Campbell's tenure has made the play. You want to change the narrative? Cool. I also picked Kansas, that game, to be a loss, Dave. So now I've got house money. I had 1-1 after these 2 games. So, I'm playing with house money there. But yeah, and Iowa State has been, and when we looked at Iowa State coming into the season, it was, how are they going to offensively, how are they going to replace those 2 guys, the 2 wide receivers that went in the second round? Are they going to get their running game back on track? Because the running game wasn't great last year, and it's still that they haven't answered that question. Is Rocco Becht a top end of the conference quarterback? That's been the revelation, right? Yes, he is. That's been the difference from last year to this year.
Obviously, we're going to be partial to Sorsby, but I don't think there's a quarterback in the conference I would take over him. Because the guys that excite you from a passing standpoint also put the ball in turnover-worthy plays way more often than he does.
Yeah.
Like, as pure passers, Sawyer Robertson and Josh Hoover are probably better, but they've been turning the ball over.
Right. I'm probably leaning that way. I think it's going to be a great game. I do think Cincinnati is going to give them a hell of a fight. And hopefully they can find a way in the fourth quarter to end up with 1 more point on the scoreboard. Because I think it's that type of game. Like, I don't think it's a who has the ball last type of game. I think it's 2 teams standing at the 50-yard line and throwing haymakers at each other, battling for field position and battling for, every yard. Now, I don't know how physical that looks, because I don't think either team is overly physical per se. As evidenced by Iowa State being, as bad as they've been against the run. But I just think it's got more of a heavyweight fight type feel than a shootout.
You're not going to be as frustrated with punts as, like, you felt like last week. If we had to punt, it was like an automatic touchdown coming the other way.
Yeah,
and that might still be the case. I mean, that is a major concern for me, is their tight ends and how they use them. And then on offense, I just got to see the passing game have a level of life that it has not shown against them in 2 years.
Yeah.
Regardless of who's at quarterback, who's at wide receiver, who's in their defensive backfield, like, if it's anywhere close to what it was last year, they got no shot.
I mean, that was a close game in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Wasn't it a one-score game in the fourth quarter?
I told you earlier I don't have any recollection of that game. I don't believe so, but you can tell me that I'm wrong.
It was 10-0 going into the third quarter. And then Iowa State scored 10 in the third quarter, so it's 20-10 at the end of the third quarter.
That 10
yeah.
The 10 felt a lot more than 10. But, notwithstanding, like it's all there, man. It is all there for them. In this game, specifically, and
it was. This will surprise you, Dave. It was 20-17 with 11 minutes and 44 seconds left in that game.
Yeah, I told you I don't remember anything about that game.
And then Iowa State scored the last two touchdowns, one with 4 minutes left, one with a minute left. But it was a 3-point game with 4 minutes left. Better than you think.
Better than I thought.
How about that?
Better than you think. To a hill of beans, but
no, they lost. They lost 34-17. They got doubled up, but with 5 minutes left in the game, it was a 3-point game. What's the tailgate? You're going, right?
That breaking news. I will be attending. I also have no idea what the tailgate is, so I don't know if my mom is in the chat or not. But yeah, I will be there. So they better win.
Shout out to your mom and your aunt showing up at the Holy Grail last week, checking out the Kansas game. Stopped by and said hello.
Bearcat Journal groupies.
It's a lifestyle, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle. What do you think? Like, there's no Iowa cuisine, right?
I do. I think it's breakfast.
Yeah,
it'll be the one breakfast. I think it's the breakfast. And she also sent me a text earlier telling you to make sure you arrive.
Okay, I will do my best. I will do my best. Like I said, it's a lot more difficult this year, Dave. I'm all the way on the other side of campus. And the way that they have redone campus, it is kind of difficult to get from this side to that side now. You got to go all the way up here because they've opened everything is an entrance now.
Okay.
Now you got to go all the way up and around the baseball stadium and all the way down, and it's a lot.
I can't believe they're not more, committed to the media and with what works good for them.
Well, this is them doing me a favor.
Oh, okay.
The garage that we normally park in is under construction, so there's very few spots in that garage.
Gotcha.
So they did me a favor and gave me a parking pass. It's just on the other side, like it's really far away from the Simone family tailgate.
Okay.
That's all. But I'm gonna breakfast, bacon, egg, casserole, bagels, potatoes. Okay. I'm gonna do my best, Carrie. I'm gonna do my best, but it's a challenge this year. It's a challenge. All right, let's timestamp that. Brought to you by our good friends at Turtles Brew. 6% ABV, zero sugar, zero carbs, gluten-free. It is a bourbon-infused sweet tea. It is outstanding for tailgates. So what you want to do is go pick you up some that you can get lemonade tea. You can get the strawberry mint. You can get cherry lime, raspberry peach. I really like the orange vanilla. I didn't think I would like that one, but it's wonderful. You can find it in 50 locations, more than 50 locations in Greater Cincinnati, over 100 around the state of Ohio. Just go to turtlesbrew.com for the location nearest you. Mimosas, Bloody Marys.
We know Jello shots will be there.
Jello shots. Breakfast, like, do we have breakfast Jello shots or Jello shots?
I don't think they're time of day specific.
Okay. Anything last week in the Big 12 jump out to you, Dave?
I'm trying to think. There were so many games last week that were, from a national perspective, it would have been nice if they were able to spread some of those out to this week. It's very difficult finding 6 games worth paying attention to for the 6-pack.
Last week, Arizona State beat TCU. That was a big one. Houston.
TCU probably feels like they gave that one away.
Their offense was, Arizona State's defense is nasty, Dave.
6 sacks, 3 turnovers. Josh Hoover did not have a great game.
Arizona State's defense, that's the second time I've paid attention to an Arizona State game. Their defense is nasty. They are physical. They get after the quarterback. They challenge you. They're aggressive. That's maybe the best defense in the league this year. They've shut down Baylor and TCU, which people considered the 2 best offenses in the league, right?
Yeah.
They kept both of them in the 20s, and neither of those quarterbacks looked like they were having very fun in that game.
No. Other than that,
are you? What did BYU? What am I supposed to think about BYU, Dave?
I can't take any team serious whose quarterback wears number 47. I just can't.
They barely beat Colorado. We think Colorado stinks, right?
I don't think they're any good. They were down 14-0 6 minutes
right
into
away.
the game.
Yeah, right away.
Now
their defense is good.
You wear number 47. How am I supposed to take you and your offensive outfit seriously?
Right. It was last week a rise from the dead moment for K-State?
Maybe. We'll know a lot more this week. They play Baylor.
Baylor needed 10 late to pull away from Oklahoma State. That was an 8-point game going into the fourth quarter. Maybe it was we fired our coach bump. I don't know, but Oklahoma State's really bad, and they looked like they were right in there with Baylor that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Utah dog walked West Virginia, who's
Virginia.
the worst team in this league?
I think it's Oklahoma State still, but West Virginia is going to make them earn it. They're going to make them earn it.
UCF might make them earn it too.
I think there's a pretty big gap between those 2 and UCF.
I'm not sure. UCF's offense is bad, bro. Bad.
Yeah, if they just want to run the ball and then throw it 50 yards downfield.
Yeah, if you can't score, you're bad.
Well, West Virginia can't do either. They can't score or
defend
anybody. Nico Markiel, I guess, announced today he's going to redshirt and then transfer.
Oof. Not great.
I guess you're playing out the rest of the season with a freshman quarterback who has no, best running back's been hurt, wide receivers hurt. So it, I don't know if do West Virginia and Oklahoma State play each other? That's the real question.
No, unfortunately, no.
That'd have been a fun one to watch.
Next week we get West Virginia UCF. Virginia's got UCF, TCU, Houston, Colorado, Arizona State, and Texas Tech.
That couldn't have been at noon?
Well, that's, I don't know if it's next week or the week after. There's a bye week, so that's October 18th.
Okay, I was like...
That's October 18th. Maybe that one will get noon, and then UC and Oklahoma State will be a little later, so I have more time. Oh, Dave.
Well, it's at Oklahoma State, so are they going to give them the 11 a.m. local kick time?
I was really excited about going up to Michigan for the UC Michigan exhibition basketball game.
Okay.
And I went to look for lodging that night. and kind of forgot that Michigan plays Washington the next day. I think there was a Red Roof Inn that was like $280 a night. So we're going to go. I'm going to go. But I think I'm probably going to do something I've never done before in my life, Dave.
What? Drive up and just sleep in your car?
Spend the night in Toledo.
Oh, okay.
I've never spent the night in Toledo. You can get a downtown Toledo hotel, like a fancy one, for like $140 a night.
There's a casino on the outskirts of Toledo.
On the west outskirts?
No, right off 75. You'll drive right by it.
Okay. What casino is it?
I don't remember.
No. That's unfortunate.
Josh, no, I don't give the 131st offensive efficiency team in the country a chance of keeping it close with Texas Tech. Everyone wants to talk about Texas Tech's offense. I think their defense is actually really good too. So I don't see Houston score. I mean, Houston needed against 0-5, maybe one of the worst teams in the power, whatever. I don't even know if you can technically call them the power anymore. Oregon State. Houston needed 2 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes to force overtime against Oregon State. I think they're going to get their doors blown off by Texas Tech.
Is that Sorsby that's in the room, Dave? He said he's going to come back in here Saturday afternoon.
I hope so.
B-Sor 12. He wears 2, though.
We got all sorts of stuff. I mean, you got the WWE Friday Night SmackDown. You know some of the players are going to be there.
Yeah.
And then
they're loud.
Angelo Dawkins, Street Profits, he puts out a video. He's going to be at the game. He's actually a huge Bengals fan, too, coincidentally. But,
is he from Cincinnati?
I don't think
I've heard that story before of him being a Bengals fan, but I don't remember if he was from Cincinnati.
Yeah. Yeah, they I'm assuming since he's going to be there, they've got a title match. So hopefully he wins the title, brings the belt to Nippert. One of the tag team titles, brings that to Nippert Saturday. Got all sorts of stuff happening. Bearcats got to get the dub.
But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot really that popped off in the Big 12 last week. Let me see. Anything this week? West Virginia, BYU, Friday night, 10:30. Whew. Boy, you're a degenerate if you're around for that one.
I'll probably be watching it.
You're a degenerate. That's
yeah.
Right. That's what I said. Kansas State and Baylor at noon. Oklahoma State, Arizona at 3. Texas Tech, Houston, Colorado, TCU, Kansas, UCF. What a stinker!
Yeah, there's not.
How the fuck
did you see?
Is UC Iowa State the noon game? What the hell is that?
With a team that's in the top 15.
What are we doing?
In the week that there's I couldn't even come up with 6 games worth of shit. I got 5, and I'm going to throw in 1 just because I think it'll be funny to watch it and see what the hell happens.
Wow. That's embarrassing. All right, let's do the 6-pack and get the hell out of here. So the Cincy Light, Simone 6-pack. Again, if you're listening on podcast, what I'm holding up right now is a super awesome red Cincy Light starter jacket. It's got the kangaroo pouch here. It's got the little zip pouch there. It's got the hood, Cincy Light on the back. They're giving one of these away this weekend. They'll be located on the top right corner of the grid as you're walking into Nippert. Remember where the stage used to be? It's up by there. You'll see the Cincy Light booth. They got a QR code. Scan the QR code. Give them your email address. They'll be there from 10 to 11:30. and you can win one of these Cincy Light starter jackets, which are awesome. 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 Dave, what's your 6-pack?
Well, since I had to pick 6, we'll start with Clemson at North Carolina, noon, ESPN.
Okay.
I'm not advising you to watch this, but if you just want to see, like, is Clemson actually bad versus how bad is North Carolina? Because, like, this should be an absolute bloodbath.
Should be.
But Clemson has played like no reason for me to think that it will be, other than the fact that North Carolina is stinky, stinky poo-poo, and it would just be a funny watch, to flip off when you're watching UC, obviously. I mean, I wouldn't – none of these games are – 2 of them are must watch. The rest of the whole day is kind of – I like to watch college football, so I'm going to watch some of these games. Then we're going to go Wisconsin at Michigan, noon, Fox.
Ooh. Again,
could get very ugly. Very, very ugly. Then the biggest game of the day, in my opinion, Vanderbilt at Alabama, 3:30 ABC, revenge game for the Tide. I heard a funny one earlier this week talking about Diego Pavia. They called him Johnny Manziel with better management. But yeah, I don't think the doors are going to sneak up on Bama this year, even after the Georgia game. Like, Vandy's legit good, one, and they beat you last year. Like, it's a 10.5-point spread. I don't even know if Bama wins by less than that, I would kind of be surprised, as much as I think that Vandy's actually good. UVA at Louisville, 3:30 ESPN 2. Virginia coming off their big win against Florida State. Louisville is undefeated. Had a interesting
undefeated and unranked.
Yeah, interesting one last week. Down 17-0 to a Des Reed-less Pitt team, and still came back and won. So, I had to pick 6 games. That's why this one's on there. Couple good night games. Miami at Florida State, 7:30 ABC. I think Miami is legit good, top 1, 2, 3 teams in the country. Florida State had big time struggles with UVA's offense, got no pressure on UVA. If they can't pressure UVA, Miami's offensive line is downright very good. Defensive line, very good. Don't like the Noles much in this one. And then Mississippi State at Texas A&M, 7:30 SEC Network. Should be just a fun game. There's not a whole lot on at night worth watching. Mississippi State is probably the most improved team in the country. I mean, they went winless in the SEC last year, and two Tennessee defensive touchdowns gets that game into overtime. I didn't think Tennessee played very well at all. Got out of Starkville with the win. I like Texas A&M a lot. Their offense, I really like Marcel Reed, and then Mario. What is his? One of the receivers, Casey Concepcion, transferred in from NC State, and then the other receiver that actually absolutely torched Notre Dame. They've got a fun offense to watch, so that should just be just a good, entertaining game. But yeah, it's not a great Saturday. Especially when you prop it up against last week, it makes it look even worse.
No Miami, Florida State?
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm half paying attention to the Reds. It's my bad.
That's all right.
All right. I think that's going to do it. We're excited. Hopefully that was Sorsby. If that was Sorsby, he'll let me know about it Saturday before the game. But thanks for watching, Brendan. Prove us wrong. We like that. We like that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. It will be a fun one. Saturday noon, nip at noon. Bearcats, Iowa State Cyclones. Make sure you're there. Go see our good friends at the Cincy Light booth. Get registered for the starter jacket. And we'll see you next time. That's the BCJ Podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, right here on BearcatJournal.com.